I hesitate even to make this video because as someone who self-judges, I just feel like, this shouldn't even be done, but, I'm gonna do it um, because I just wanna do it. So, when I was younger, I I was very self-conscious, um, just self-conscious about everything, about what I said, uh, especially adolescence. I was very self-conscious of even the way that I walked. Just felt like, I was being judged, and an introvert, uh, uh, an introvert. Uh, and it was probably when I was in junior high, I was just very, very worried about the future. And not so much like the end of the world kind of stuff, but, worried about my brother's well-being because he was a brat, he was I was very concerned about his future, that he would be someone, I really wanted him to succeed. I was just worried, I remember just crying to my mom because I was just really going through some stuff where I was just worried and just very fearful. Um, but then I went to a youth retreat, and I can't really put a finger on it. I don't even remember what the whole youth retreat was about, although it was a Christian retreat. So there was some biblical truth being spoken. Um, and after that weekend, I was, I was just changed. I mean, I knew something had happened. It wasn't that I made a decision to follow Jesus, but something I encountered God at that retreat. And it's more he encountered me than I encountered him. Like, I didn't really know what had happened. I just knew that I had an experience with God. And I remember going back to school that Monday, just just feeling new and just amazing. I just had a jump in my step. I just felt like something happened. I don't know what happened, but I knew that I had an encounter with God. And so from that point on, I really started to draw near to God. I started reading the Bible, Christian books, whatever I could get my hands on. And throughout high school, I was just on fire for God. And it was around my junior year that I decided that I wanted to become a pastor. I wanted to preach the word, so I decided to go to a college and um, pursue being a pastor. And I went to this Bible college, and it was great. I mean, I learned a lot, um, but I was short on cash. I didn't really have the money to continue to go to school, and I needed financial help, so I decided to go into ROTC, um, because they were providing money for college. So I did that. As a result, I wasn't able to major in religion, because of the separation of church and state thing. So, I got involved in broadcasting, um, radio broadcasting. I was still a believer, still strong in the faith, and I just want and wanted to make a difference. My whole life, like, if I could sum up my desire then and now, it is to make a difference. I want to make a difference. Full stop. I want to make a difference. So I worked at a Christian radio station for a while. Uh, and that was cool. I was able to do broadcasting, but also have that Christian aspect to it. So I felt like I was doing something, making a difference. Um, and just really locked in and really on fire for God, I decided that I wanted to uh, go into ministry again. I wanted to pursue that. And so I, uh, I got involved in a short-term missions organization. So I did some work overseas, and that was great. Um, Again, you have to raise funds to do so. And so there came a point where I couldn't and didn't raise enough funds, to continue my short-term missions work. And so that was God's way of kind of escorting me from that chapter of my life to this current chapter of my life, which is, I'm married. I have 6 kids, which is awesome. I I just, that was great, and that is great. It continues to be great. Um, and so I got involved in secular radio and just really, really grew, just had a hunger for being the best that I could be. I wanted to, as a 30, 40-year-old man, that was the age where I just really wanted to just conquer the world, be the greatest, be the best at my craft. And I really did. I mean, I did well. I enjoyed what I did. I won some national awards, and I moved from suburban radio to a radio station in Chicago, which was great. I just felt like, man, that was my desire, and that's what I did. I made it, and I was there for a while. Well, quite a while. I was there for almost 17 years, and after a while, probably the last 2 years, I just felt like, "What am I doing?" It was just it was pointless. I felt like I'm not making a difference. I'm doing the same thing day in and day out. The radio station is doing the same thing. They're playing their music, they're doing their contests, and it was just I really began to feel a restlessness. Like, this is not my thing. This is not what I wanna be doing for the rest of my life. And then I was let go right around COVID, which again, it was a blessing, because I was forced out, which freed me up to do whatever I wanted to do. The job market, though, was tight. It was very challenging to find a job in radio. So I found a job at a Christian radio station in Birmingham, Alabama, y'all. And I worked there for 3 years. Management was not great. So fortunately, I moved on and I'm now working at a Catholic TV network, which is great because, again, I'm in a place where the gospel is being proclaimed. I am making a difference, but even so, I want to make a difference. I want to make a bigger difference, and not just corporately, but I want to make a difference personally. Like I want to I want to make a difference. And there have been some wilderness moments most recently, for sure. Like when I was let go from my job in Chicago, I was out of work for about a year. That was a wilderness, just wondering, God, what is going on? What am I going to do? What does my future look like? And it was a wilderness. And then I got my job in Birmingham, felt like the wilderness was over, like, hey, I'm rocking again. And then when that job started to sour, that became another wilderness time where I was just wondering, God, not really so much why, but what now? What do I do now? And that was a wilderness. In fact, I wrote a book during that time on being in the wilderness, and that the wilderness, as challenging it is a place of encounter. It is a place where God meets you in your need, in your lack, in the darkness, in the silence. He meets you there. And he did. He did. And I felt like every day just a a help me God attitude, mindset. Every day was like, God help me. God help me. And then I got my job at my most recent position at this Catholic TV network, and I thought that it would go away. This feeling of God help me, God help me, and it's still there. It's still there. God help me, because I want to make a difference. Again, that theme. I want to make a difference. Am I making a difference at this TV network? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. But personally, I want to make a difference. And it's a wilderness. Every day, I'm telling you, every day, every day, every day, I just say, God, help me. God, help me. And I don't really know what to do, actually. I know I need to continue to be faithful, continue to take one step at a time every single day. And I really want YouTube to be a place for that ministry to happen because I love video. I love the gospel. I love Jesus and I want to help people. And I know that there are avenues of ministry, but I'm not seeing any fruit. And I've done videos where I encourage other people to hang on during those times of darkness, during those times of trial, and when it doesn't seem like anything's happening, that encouraging people, hey, God has planted a seed in the ground. You can't see it yet, but God is doing something. God is doing something in your life. And I say these words, I encourage people, and yet I still struggle with all of that. God, help me. I don't see anything happening. And sometimes it seems like the things I'm seeing are just shrinking. There is literally nothing happening, and I want something to happen, and it's not happening. And this is like the world's longest night. I don't see the sunrise. I don't even see the dawn. There are no birds chirping to announce the new day. I don't hear it. And I want to believe. I do believe. Okay, again, I this scripture's really resonated with me. The man who had the demon-possessed child, and the man said, "I believe. I believe. Help my unbelief." Which is basically to say, "God, I believe you, but my faith is so weak. Help me. Just strengthen my faith because it's really weak. I believe you. I believe you, but my faith is like a thread. It is like a thread connected to you. It is not a strong cable connected to you. It is a thread, and I am hanging by that thread." God, I believe, help my unbelief. This is the hardest part. waiting, waiting for something to happen. And right now I see the I see that the sun has just come out. Can you see it? I don't know. Maybe it's God just saying, "Hey, I hear you," and the sun is coming. The sun is coming. I don't know if you're struggling with that, if that's kinda your story, but, if it is, be encouraged. In this wilderness, I will say that I believe that God is doing something, and, if you're waiting, I believe God's doing something in your life. God's doing something. God help me, and God help you.